My first year, I looked around my office and thought, okay, everyone that's not in a cubicle, that's in an office around the surrounding cubicles, I'm like, okay, these dudes are dudes that actually make money. So let me talk with them. So I quickly, within day one, I wrote a note card, like 15 note cards, put it on the doors of everybody's office, introduced myself, said, hey, my name's Chris. Let me know, about you, tell me everything, and let me take you out to lunch.
So welcome to Think Your Way to an Epic Life. And today I've got somebody who, he just blows my mind so much, I can't possibly tell you everything. So Chris, please tell me why are you here today? Tell me some of your accomplishments.
Sure. So my name's Chris Venegas. I am the team lead of the Venegas group. We got 6 people on our team right now. Launched a team officially mid to late last year. I run my team out of Keller Williams here in town, and I'm on the GAR board directors currently. My first year of real estate, I was 19, got GAR Rookie of the Year, which is a really big thing. And I'll brag about myself a little so you guys understand that award. I mean, normally that award's for people in their 40s that came from a prior career and then transfer into this with a lot of people they know to get a bunch of transactions. So to be 19, 20 at the time was a big deal to get that award. Got that. Big investor. I own rental properties throughout the city of Albuquerque, and I just broke into commercial real estate too, purchasing that.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So GAR is, what is GAR?
So GAR is the association, the Realtor Association for the Albuquerque Metro. Within the Metro, we got about 4,400 members currently. So I sit on the board that presides over to make decisions on the best behalf of our real estate community.
Well, thank you for serving.
Yeah, of course.
In that way. Yes. It's real estate is a very unique animal, and we need more people like yourself that are willing to step up, people that are in production, that are actually doing it. Because a lot of times people that volunteer aren't really that busy. They're not in production. So thank you.
Yeah, it's hard to find those ones that are in the trenches that are also actively volunteering. It seems to be the issue we got is people that used to be in the trenches, decades ago, kind of a thing, or some people that are very fresh and new. So trying to get that in between the people that are in production right now, high production, also to volunteer, it's not the easiest thing to find. So but I think I add some good value to the conversations our board has. But yeah, if you guys are interested in getting into GAR, if you're a realtor, you could always send me a message, ask me about it. I'd be happy to get you guys involved with it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I can back up GAR. I've been on a committee there for over 10 years. And really, guys, GAR does a lot for us, and we need to give back. If we don't like the way something's working, instead of complaining about it, go do something.
Right.
Show up and volunteer.
Right.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, thank you for being here today. We're going to go into all of those interesting things that you told us. And here we go. We ran into each other at the top 300 realtors in the MLS kind of an event.
Right.
And we worked together. So those are a couple things. So talk to me a little bit about are you native New Mexican?
Yeah, born and raised, Rio Rancho, West Side area, Albuquerque, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. So you grew up here, everybody, everything here. You went to school on the West Side. Mm-hmm. And did you go to university? No,
so I went to Rio Rancho High School, class of 2017. Played a bunch of sports in high school, active in high school, Did one semester at C&M after high school. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. I thought after high school, I had a hard time with high school. I probably wouldn't graduate with straight C's, and I didn't care for it too much. So when one semester at C&M, I couldn't do it. I couldn't stand it. It was just it wasn't for me. I hated the school part. And it wasn't that bad, really. It was maybe a few hours a day, but it was still a lot for me to do. So completed one semester, passed the whole thing, and I told my parents that was it. I'm dropping out after that. I'm done. So I dropped out immediately after that point.
How did they react to that?
They were more okay because I tried it. And I came to them saying, you know what, guys, I completed a semester. Here's how it looks. And they were okay with that, saying, all right, well, you tried it. That's fine. But I've always been really entrepreneurial growing up. So I think they kind of knew that wouldn't have been exactly the main route for me. The thing was my dad. I had a lot of scholarships. And then with my dad, he was in the military. He has 100% disability. So with that, I was allowed free college anywhere in the country. So kind of a waste to just not use it. So that was the only heartache I had with dropping out. It was well, if whatever I do doesn't work, am I screwed and I got to pay for college? So, but I didn't want to go forward with it. So.
Okay, well, you just brought up something so cool, though. I had no idea. I know that 100% disabled veterans don't pay property taxes. Mm-hmm. I had no idea that their offspring could go to school anywhere in the country for free. That is so cool.
Right.
That is USA rocks, guys. Don't you doubt that for a minute. That's super cool.
Yeah.
So, but if somebody gives you something free that you don't need,
Yeah, it's kind of that thing. Do I really need it? Yeah. It's good for so many years. I think I got like another 5 years left of it to use it, but I don't think I'm going to use it at this point.
I think you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you're doing all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you were always entrepreneurial. What was your first business? Like, was it selling lemonade or?
Oh, I mean, it was in like elementary school. I would like get a bunch of kids to like sell stuff for me in the class and then bring me the money, stuff like that. Got in trouble at school for doing this little stuff like that, just for fun. But really, I'd say when I really started it was around the end of high school, around that period. I would buy stuff on Facebook Marketplace and then sell it on eBay for a whole lot more. And people didn't notice, but like headlights, a car's headlights, you could buy it online here in town for like $50. On eBay to another mechanic shop, it's worth like $600-700. So I would flip a lot of stuff like that, and that was just good like date money, Like I didn't need the money. I lived with my parents, so it was just fun money. But that was probably the first taste of entrepreneur stuff I've done.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so why didn't you get comfortable there and stay there?
I don't know. I think if my mom recommended I go to try real estate, and I wanted to buy rental properties too. I knew if I could buy like 20 rental properties, live off the cash flow, I thought, well, why doesn't everyone just do this and not have to work their whole lives? I quickly figured out how the whole system works. And then around that time too, she mentioned, why don't you try real estate? Went to a career night for real estate and did that route. If I didn't have anything else going on, I probably would have stayed doing that, honestly, and tried to scale it to some point, some kind of degree. But no, I'm really thankful the way everything turned out.
Oh, no question. No question about it. So you got into real estate. Like, let's start that. Mom said, check it out. What were your actual steps?
There was a career night I went to. They told me, hey, this is real estate. This is how it works. I didn't really even understand the money side to it. I didn't realize how much money you make from it, but I knew it was a sales job, and I knew I wanted to buy rental properties, and thought, well, I better learn about real estate, learn how to do it, learn the craft I want to get into, and that'd be it. And thank God I was good at it,
Right.
So I was 19 going on 20, I want to say, when I started. And yeah, I ran out the door running. I dressed professionally every day, worked 7 days a week. I only took a few days off my first year. I mean, I worked hard. I really worked hard my first year and did pretty good, fairly good.
Okay, so your tips to someone else is, if you do it, get dressed, show up.
Right.
Every day, work really hard.
Right.
You mentioned something earlier too. About a mentor.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. So a lot of my success I owe is from my first year, which I wish more people would have done. More new agents would do this. My first year, I looked around my office and thought, okay, everyone that's not in a cubicle, that's in an office around the surrounding cubicles, okay, these dudes are dudes that actually make money. So let me talk with them. So I quickly, like within like day one, I wrote like a note card. Like 15 note cards, put it on the doors of everybody's office, introduced myself, said, hey, my name's Chris. Let me know, about you. Tell me everything. And let me take you out to lunch. Stuck in all their offices. Maybe like a quarter of those people, got back to me. So then I had to find them into sales meetings, try to talk to them and say, hey, my name's Chris, new realtor, young, trying to figure it out. So started with the office, networked with all the top agents in my office, went with all top agents of my company, and then in the whole city. So a lot of top agents will tell you, yeah, I remember I got a call from Chris Venegas, asking me, let me take you out to lunch and yada, yada. So, and there's a few I'm still getting to know, but a majority of the top agents I reached out to and asked them their story. And the cool part was being from high school to semester in college to this, I never really had a job. So the standard to which I knew wasn't really much of anything. The only standard I really had was from playing football, of what, how to run a good system, how to be disciplined. That's all I really had. So talking to all these top agents throughout the whole city, learning, hey, this is what we do every day. This is how you have to do it. This is the type of efficiency you have to work at. That really told me, okay, this is my new standard. This is just where I live now. And then from there, I said, okay, if I want to really do good, I know what to amp up, even more than what these top agents were doing. So I knew I really had to push it hard and had to have an urgency with it. So I was in a rush, my first few years, just try and build up this thing and to be like obsessed with it, So the cool part about being young, you probably don't have that many responsibilities either. It's probably the one time in your life where you have the least amount of responsibilities you're ever going to have in your whole life. So a lot of younger people ask me, do I get into real estate? Like, yes, this is the one time to do it. And the reason why there's such a big dropout rate in realtors is because they have obligations. If you have a wife, kids, family, mortgage, bills, if you don't do something for 3 months, you could screw your whole family up. But if you're young and you're living with mom and dad and you just got to worry about having gas money, you're fine. I hope that answered your question.
That's huge. I mean, really,
Yeah.
really, really. This is like step 1, step 2, step 3. If you want to get into real estate and you feel, well, I'm only 19. What about somebody who owns a $800,000 home? Are they going to listen to you when you're 19?
Oh, it's my first year. I owe a lot of my business to something called floor duty. Floor duty, if you guys don't know, it's when anyone calls someone in the office, you can sign up for shifts to be in the office. If anyone calls that office looking to buy or sell a house, you get that lead. So my first year, I was the king of floor duty. I took the most floor possible, and I was more in the mindset of ask for forgiveness. So I would load up that calendar as many options as possible. And it was so weird. When I got to that office I started at, no one wanted floor duty. It was just dry. And the second I went in and just took everything and then some, the whole script flipped and everyone wanted floor. But back to what your question was I got a lot of people that walk into the office from California, and they were saying, hey, Chris, we're looking for $600,000, $800,000 homes. Back in 2018, that was probably close to $1 million home. And I said, sure, let me get you in touch with the lender. Let's get you qualified. And it worked out, and they didn't question anything. What I found is people don't care about your age, old or young. All they care about is how well you know the process. If you could correctly understand the process and navigate them through the whole thing, they don't care. And if anything, I found they enjoy helping out someone that's on the come up. People love that underdog come up story, And so a lot of younger people have that issue where like, I don't know if I can do this because of that. Like, no, that's your advantage. That's helping you get your way through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you were to ask me, like, is that an issue? No, not at all.
Do you see where that would be a really viable excuse for younger people to not do what you do? There's no way that somebody at 24 years old can accomplish everything you've accomplished. It's just not possible. Yet you're sitting here.
Well, I found I really dedicate a lot of my life to this, to my career, my work. Don't have a girlfriend, don't have dogs, don't have nothing. Like I invest, I enjoy my few hobbies, and then it's work. But to me, I think the difference is I'm so excited to come to the office every day because I know I'm building something big. I'm really working on something, and I'm excited because I know one day this whole thing I'm building is going to pay off. It's going to pay off very soon. And if you just go to work every day knowing you're working at, say, a Wendy's at 21, you're not going to have that same feeling in your heart of filling your cup up every day. So I think you need to have the right motivation. So the motivation's not there. You're not going to be successful in any industry, real estate, whatever. So you need something that's going to fill your cup every day. And to me, filling my cup was the idea of building something big that could have a generational wealth that would really build something, And I'll even tell you my why. As to why I do all this is because I think of all the past generations of my family. That a lot of my family's gone through some really bad situations. I think about the slaves in the 1800s, people in third world countries. They don't have this opportunity I've been given. So how disrespectful would it be for me to sleep in this morning and not go to the office and just say, you know what, I'm good. I'm just going to produce $5 million every year. I'm going to buy one house, call it a day, and that be it. Like that would just be a waste. So I want to build something as big as possible, to really pay homage to those people because I just can't let this sound cheesy, but I don't want to let the opportunity slip by. So
it sounds everything but cheesy.
Yeah.
Seriously, we need more people like you, Chris. We really do. The world needs more people like you right now. America needs more people. Step up, guys. I mean, really, it is you. We have someone on our team who just became an American citizen. She had to work her tail off for 3 years to be able to become, and all of us got to be there as this happened, and we saw hundreds and hundreds of people who have just fought their way to be able to get what you and I don't take for granted, but most Americans, I think, do.
Oh, those people intimidate me because the level of which they work is phenomenal. And if those people jumped into real estate, they'd probably blow me out of the park with the level of work that they put into stuff. I mean, yeah, I think so. When I talk to newer agents and they say, yeah, I do 2 open houses a month. Like I roll my eyes. I'm like, are you kidding? Like that's it. Like you need to have a sense of urgency with this business to really become successful. I mean, you got to amp it up. Whatever you think is amped up, you got to do that times 10. And the best way to understand what that is talking and hanging out with top agents, understanding that. And that's even outside of work. When you're hanging out with them, just, at their house or just watching a game, you understand that it doesn't turn off. They're still working 24/7. They're still taking calls. It doesn't stop. So I think once you could put that through your head that, this is just what I'm stepping into and it's a 24/7 kind of a thing, I think it'd be a lot easier to overcome that hiccup of, I only do 2 open houses a month kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, people want all the rewards and they're not willing to give the equal amount of effort to get there.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that everything that all the success that you're enjoying now wasn't just luck?
So there was somebody that came to me that I mentored, and they made minimum wage. Okay. And they told me, well, I want to make $100,000 a year. And I said, well, that's totally possible. But you have to understand, how hard were you working on this last job? I was working, 70% of what I'm capable of. Okay. So if you work that hard and you made that much money, do you understand how hard you're gonna have to work to make 5 times that amount? You need to amp up what you're doing prior by 5 times to get that reward. So don't just think you're gonna work the same amount of effort in this job than the last job and you're gonna magically make $100K. You need to do 5 times the amount of effort and energy you put into the last job. Are you ready for that? No? Okay, well then let's set up better expectations. What are you willing to do? Let's look at that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, wow, this is so much fun. I mean, this for someone that's not in your generation is so excited about someone like you that is not only doing it, but you're promoting it to other people. So you hang out with people that have achieved much more than you. You hang out with people that are kind of in your running with you. And then you hang out with people that you're giving a hand up.
I mean, I really try to hang out with the top producers in the city. I mean, I want to stay. There's a certain type of mindset of people, and I want to stay around that mindset, because the second I allow someone poison or toxic that doesn't have that right mindset of understanding the level you have to be at 24/7, and I get it. It's not for everyone. Not everyone wants that life, and I totally get it. And there's a weird few of us that do like that, and I want to stick with that crew, because that keeps the momentum going, and the opportunities you get from each other keep going. So, and a lot of those people happen to be in their 30s and 40s, but I love it because that's the people I'm competing with, and I'm half their age. So I'm really trying to show, to everyone that I'm coming out for those people at those age groups, and that's my competition. And I want to show them that I could do it in half the time it took them to do it, So it's very motivating.
And why can you do it in half the time it took them?
Because I feel like a lot of it's ego driven. I think a lot of these guys that come into it, they want to reinvent the wheel. They want to do their own thing, and I'm not taking that approach. I'm like, hey, tell me exactly what you did. What did you do wrong? Okay, if you go back and do it again, what's the correct step? I'm literally copying and pasting the correct steps that everyone's telling me to take in this situation. And obviously, there's different advice for everything, not to take all of it, but I'm just copying and pasting the correct steps on how to do this correctly, and that's it. So I think if you can do it from a systematic approach and not to let your ego drive and try to do things just because of that and not let that take the wheel, I think you could grow a lot faster doing it that way.
Absolutely. So you said 2 real main things there, that it was ego and that you were able to ride on the shoulders of those that you're competing with.
Right.
Because they've already made the mistakes.
Yeah.
You don't have, you're modeling what someone else did.
100%. And that's why I said in my first year, it was so important talking to those guys, because from day one, I learned those steps. I will say the last few years have helped me elevate dramatically. I owe a lot of that to a lot of people, but there was a book, though, I will say, I'll give you guys a shout out to this book called the MREA book. That book, when I found that book became like my Bible. I looked at that constantly. It's literally a step-by-step process on how to become $1 million producer, meaning you take home $1 million after expenses. And it's literally step by step on how to do it. And to me, I'm a huge systems guy. I'm a huge number and systems guy. That's how I operate and run everything. And I'm looking at this book and I'm like, I don't understand. Why is not everyone doing this right now? And I'm sure it's like going on a diet, right? It's like everyone knows the resources are there, but are you willing to put in the work to actually do it? You know? So I think my motivation and the drive to fill my cup up every day is there high enough to where I can follow those steps step by step and do that. So that's that's a book I would highly recommend. That's helped me elevate for sure. So Top Agents and that book for sure. So
Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's a red book written by Gary Keller.
Right.
Very, very. It's an amazing book, and it is a playbook, and most people are not willing to follow the playbook.
Right.
I can figure this out better than all those agents that did it all. It's like that. So the ego is a big part.
Right.
So, your first investment. What was your first investment?
And this is where I feel I messed up. I should have done this sooner.
Sooner.
When you do a commission-based job, you have to wait 2 years, get 2 years of tax returns. The lender will then average those 2 years of prior tax returns, and then they'll spit out the number you're qualified for. So what I did was I said, okay, well, I got to wait 2 years to do this, which I did. So I was about to turn 21, or I was 21 around that time, and I had bought in my first house. I was about to turn 21 because I remember it was in April. I was about to turn 21 and bought my first house. This was in 2020. Doesn't sound that long ago, actually. But it was during the pandemic. Everyone was telling me, you're crazy for buying a house.
Of course you are.
I mean, it's just so funny to think about now. And I had to go $7,000 over asking, and people were shocked I had to do that. And in my mind, I was like, you guys are crazy. A big reason why I got into real estate, like we talked at the beginning, was to buy rental properties. And so I bought that first property in 2020, and the requirement is I had to live in it for 1 year because I got the first time home buyers program loan, which there's a requirement. You have to live in it for 1 year minimum. So I lived in that house for 1 year, and it was a great little house in Taylor Ranch area, and fixed it up a little bit, did some upgrades, whatnot. And then exactly 1 year to the date, I closed on my second house because that was the rule. So I bought myself the second house. And then I rented out the last one. And now every year I do that and do that and do that. So the reason why I said I feel like I waited too long, with what I know now, I wish I had done a real estate contract prior, because I saved up all my money, minus a Corvette or two, but I saved up the rest of the money. I saved up everything else, and I had just a ton of money sitting in my bank account, and it was just sitting there waiting for the house. I could have done that and bought a house even sooner, and then with the appreciation that's gone to today, I would have had another house, at least 100K up, but it's okay. But fast forward to today, though, I have 5 single-family homes I own, and then I just bought a warehouse in Los Ranchos, 7,000 square foot warehouse we're trying to revamp right now.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I bet mom and dad are not real disappointed that you didn't finish college.
Yeah, they haven't said that, but I don't think they're disappointed in the slightest about that. No.
No.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go. And it's the American dream, and anyone can do it, right?
100%. That's what I like about it. You could have been in any situation. I even look back if I was in a worse situation. It's definitely possible. You could do it. It's just you got to have that motivation. If you don't have that motivation to get up every day and be super excited about it, it may not be the thing for you. But that's not to take away and say, well, quit your job, at Wendy's tomorrow because you heard this. Sometimes you have to have a necessary sacrifice to get to that point to break into what you want. So maybe you need to be in the trenches for a year or two, save your money to get into a better place. So there are sacrifices that come with it. So as long as you have a goal and plan, then you should be okay. So if you don't have a plan, I'd highly recommend you just at least sit down and say, what do I want? And this is more talking to the younger people. Sit down, ask yourself, what do I want? If I could have the craziest dream, like even a little bit past my comfort zone, what would that even look like? And it may be, okay, I want a net worth of 5 million. Okay, that means we need to be doing 5 million activities. What do those even look like? Okay, that's only a few things, maybe real estate, sales, maybe I need to sell jets. Okay, if that's the case, I need to hit up, the owner of a jet company and call him. Hey man, could I mentor with you for a year, work completely for free for you? Whatever hours you need me, I'll do whatever you need. Let me work for a year for you. Is that okay? Yes, you spend that year wowing him, and at night you work a job at night just to pay the bills, and then that year will pay off, and then you go into jet sales, and that'll give you the income to start getting that net worth you want. So you got to work backwards in that sense, but there's no excuse why you couldn't dream as big as you want to. You just got to find the right thing that's going to make you the right amount of money. So if you want 30 million, okay, we need to be looking at maybe that's starting a new company. So I need to talk to people, young kids at maybe an Ivy League school that are trying to start their business. How can I help them? Let me call and mentor them. There's so many ways to do it. But you need to look back and have a plan at least at a minimum. I mean, plans, business plans, like my team, every associate on my real estate team now, they all have a business plan for what they want. And it's very in-depth. It's necessary. If you don't have that plan, that compass is going to drive you to where you need to go. I mean, you're running aimlessly and hoping to get lucky along the way. You need a set goal and set plans in place.
That's pretty amazing. So what are your habits like? You wake up in the morning, what is a day in the life of Chris Venegas?
They vary quite a bit, and I blame real estate for that. But right now, this year has been really focused on my real estate team and the warehouse I bought. Those have been my two main focuses. And every year differs. And I had a 5-year plan when I started real estate, just completed that plan. And I just kicked off my next 3-year plan, which I'm really excited about, because once I hit that 3-year goal, I mean, it's going to be completely different. So it'll really, a lot of achievements I've been trying to get will happen in the next 3 years. So answer your question, get to the office 9 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Well, wait, before you get to the office.
Before I get to the office.
Do you have a morning routine or anything? You just...
Morning routine, I get up around 7:30. Nothing crazy,
Okay.
Nothing crazy. Because I want to be realistic too. I could tell myself, all right, you're getting up every morning at 5 a.m. But is that realistic for me? No, it's not. So realistic, our whole team standard is get to the office 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, no exceptions. Unless you got a showing, something going on, we are in the office. And I think that's different than a lot of real estate teams.
Sure.
They just kind of let their people, do your thing. You guys go get a deal, whatever. Our stuff is very disciplined. It's get to the office 9 a.m. You guys have all your set stuff you're supposed to be doing. First 2 hours is lead gen. We have our systems. But I do have a ritual when I get to the office. 9 a.m. I got 50. Our whole team does this. We have 15 minutes to get our morning ritual done. I review my business plan. I take 15 deep breaths. The job gets stressful. All right, you need to like chill sometimes. Review the business plan. 15 deep breaths in the morning. I write my affirmations down. So I say the Venegas group enjoys making X amount of production, and then I read something positive. It could be something small. It could be a quick YouTube video. It could be me looking at my favorite poem. Like in the back of my business plan, I have some positive printouts I got. I'll read those maybe. And then that's it. And then I get back to work. And then I got 2 hours of lead gen.
Okay.
And then after that, it can vary completely. Normally I'll go to the gym later on the evening around like 8 or 9-ish. I found that's kind of the best time I can do that. And that's really it.
How important is your physicality to your success?
It's extremely important. And right now, that's one challenge I'm trying to face is trying to find the balance between work and my personal life. Just for me to go run errands or just get stuff done, it's very hard when you got an extremely packed day. And by the time you're done, you were like gassed out. And then you got to run your errands, you got to do your obligations. Oh, and then after all that's said and done, you got to find an hour and a half to go to the gym after that. It's very trying. So trying to find that balance of knowing when to leave the office at the right time to go do those other things.
Wow. It's a lot. It's a lot. So
yeah.
What I know you've got the next 3 years planned out. And then once you hit all those goals, and I have zero doubt, there's no question whatsoever that you will hit those goals.
Right.
And for you guys watching, I'm sure you're thinking, yeah, whatever. You don't know what might happen. I do know that things will happen, and I also know that this man has resilience. Where did you get the resilience?
I just kind of I don't want to say a natural talent thing, but it's just something I've always had. I mean, you could ask guys I went to school with, they'll say Chris was the same way even then to now. I've just always been that guy. I've always had that.
It doesn't matter if you knock me down.
To me it's either I'll find a way or I'll make one. Like hearing the word no or just can't happen or you can't do it. It's not an option. I'll roll my eyes and say, all right, that's sure. We'll figure something else out. But to me, the not getting something done is an exception. So yeah, my 3-year plan will be done without a doubt. 100% will be done.
Well, I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. So now that's done. So now you have what I'm assuming, we haven't talked about what these goals are, but I'm assuming you have a financial fortress, right? That can't be broken. Now what? Now you're a little freer. What?
I mean, you mean after that 3-year goal?
Yeah.
I mean, and that really is a 3-year goal. I'm right now from year 1 to the end of this 3-year goal has been a race to be in a situation where I'm a fortress. That means from even a lawsuit from anything, can I withstand to me, that's the idea of are you wealthy? Can you withstand a major lawsuit? So having everything fortified, having, a lot of multiple houses paid off, be in a situation to where if I want to retire, I mean, the goal really is at the age of 30, I can retire if I want to. I have more than enough passive income to keep the lifestyle I'm at too, more importantly.
Right on.
So that's the goal right there. And then after that, it really is, there's certain thresholds I want to make net worth wise. And then at that point, I haven't quite decided. Either I really amp it up or I do the opposite and take a step back. And I go back and forth on the idea of it. I'd really like to go around the country and really find good investment properties to buy, like big projects though, not just a house. I want to find an apartment complex that can grow my net worth, $1 million, $2 million in a year that we could fix up. Looking for the big boy transactions, and I can leverage all the rental properties I have into doing those big boy transactions. And really, it's more of just a vacation though, going and hanging out with my friends, flying across the country, and then having fun. And then while we do that, we find good deals and increase our net worth. So that's one end of it. The other end is quadrupling down on my team, trying to really scale and build it and build something big here and be a team of trifle with these other top teams in the city. Doing that and then maybe going to politics.
Wow.
Yeah.
You would be awesome at it. So that's pretty cool. Okay. So you're not all work and no play. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I would argue I play when it's earned and due. I will play for sure when the time comes. Like my birthday's on Monday, actually turning 25.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. I'll be going to Cabo for a whole week, and that'll be the first vacation I've taken all year. So it'll be well earned. So I'm excited to go out there and have some fun.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So guys, please pay attention to the fact that this is a very successful person who is putting stipulations on himself of saying, no, you don't get this until you do that, right? So where did that come from?
I want to say, I think it was from football. When I played in high school, one of my coaches told us, and I think about this often actually, one of them, he told us, if you can't respect what you have, you shouldn't get anything more until you've learned to respect that item, that object. So example, if your room or your house isn't clean, then you probably don't deserve to buy a nicer house. You need to respect what you have first. And with that, I take that and implement that into my time and the efficiency of what I do. So if I can't respect the time I've got and really put that to the best use, then I don't deserve to be taking vacations until I could achieve that point,
Wow, I am so proud of you. Okay, so what does your mental diet consist of? Books, podcasts?
A lot of... some podcasts for sure. The Joe Rogan podcast is like a go-to, I'm sure, for most guys out there. And just being cognitive of what I take in every day. So if there's some negative people, you'll quickly see me not hang out with them much longer. So really try to hang in with the right crowd that has that right mindset. So really staying cognitive of that, not allowing myself to fall into deep pits of any type. Many people know Q1 was a rough quarter of this year, and not letting that creep into your head. Well, what happens if we don't do this, or what happens if we don't hit our goal this month? Like, what if we don't find, like, you can't do that. You got to shut that off. Follow your systems and routines and stay positive, and don't let that stuff creep up. Because if you let those thoughts creep into your head, it eats at you, and then it consumes you completely like a cancer. You can't let that happen. You got to stay in a sharp mindset and positive only. So don't, and that's from the news, talking to people. I mean, you got to be really safe on what enters your mind.
You bring about what you think about.
Yes.
I think most people have a struggle with when the negative things, they don't understand that they can control whether or not you can't control if a thought pops in, but what do you do if a thought comes into your head that's not welcome?
It depends. The gym, just going on the treadmill and just trying to zone out and just think about everything and really just try to bring in new thoughts. Or just immediately recognizing it, say, hey, this is not a good thought. This is going to be bad if we keep this in our head. We need to get this off our mind. We need something more positive, and just quickly try to gear in to be busy with something else. Let something else occupy my mind.
Action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, big time. Don't just sit there and dwell or be sad about something. Say, okay, well, that happened. Sucks. Move on. Hey, let's go do this. Don't dwell on it, basically.
Accept the inevitable and then move on.
Yeah. What else can you do? Nothing else you can do.
Whine and end up like, 95% of people.
Well, the way I really live my life is I mean, like if you watch the news, I mean, like just looking at like wars and the economy, stuff like that. I mean, it's very intimidating. I mean, anyone that looks at it, I don't care what your views on it are. If you look at it, it's very intimidating. So what I tell myself is everything's fine. Everything's going to be cool. We're going to be great until it's not. And then when it's not, we'll deal with it. But until then, this train is rolling and we're going to keep it rolling. I mean, because if everyone like 2020 is a perfect example. If I had freaked out and stopped everything, then who knows what would have happened. But the fact that I said, okay, we're going to pretend this is just still going on and kept the train running. I mean, we kept things going. So until something actually terrible happens or something really negative actually comes through, I'm going to keep going, you know?
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Very cool. Thank you so much, Chris. This has been, I mean, if I wasn't actually talking to you, I would have taken tons of notes. I'm going to watch this over and over again.
Sure.
I can learn a ton from you. And I want to talk to the older crowd now a little bit because I am. Don't think that you can't learn from the younger people. Don't think, I understand that there are some millennials that are difficult, right? I get that. But my entire team is filled with millennials, and Chris is a great example. Give them the respect that they're due, please, and learn from them. No way could I be doing what I'm doing without a bunch of young people around me that know tons more about
Sure.
what's happening now.
Well, what I've learned is with the millennials and Gen Zs, there's undeniably a cross-wire between the generations as to the thought process. But within that millennial group and Gen Z group, there is still a small population within that, though. When the wires are crossed correctly, they are a threat. Let me tell you, they are coming, and they are coming hard. So you need to be watching out for them, because those few that do understand and get it, they've got the resources and tools that a lot of people, older generations, weren't born with, and they are coming for you. So don't just sleep well at night. You need to be stressed out, because we're coming.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope we get to do this again sometime.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.